I have spent over 2 decades in the high performance sport industry, mostly with teams, but with some private organizations as well. My most recent team position was with the Philadelphia 76ers in the NBA. 9 years I served as the head strength and conditioning coach, and 5 of those years I served as the director of performance science. Since that time, I've done a number of different consulting projects, all tied to high performance sport in some fashion, but just not working for directly for a team any longer. I have seen the growth of sports tech tremendously, particularly in the last 6 to 8 years or so, maybe as long as 10, not as much in the first part of my time in the NBA. But CoolMitt's interesting. It has an intriguing place kind of between recovery and performance. And depending on when you use it, depending on the choice of the timing on use, it's practical and simple enough to use in activities. So it has a chance to influence late game or late workout outcomes, which is a lot different than a lot of the recovery modalities out there. And from a performance enhancement perspective, the effect that it has on extracting heat, which is a big limiting factor in exercise and performance, that if it can mitigate the accumulation of heat within the body, it can delay fatigue throughout a workout or throughout a game. So it's an interesting dynamic that, again, depending on the choice of the timing of use, could factor into both recovery scenarios and recovery protocols, or as a performance enhancement tool. I think it's important to recognize that heat is the biggest limiting factor in performance and in exercise. That momentary muscular fatigue that comes from a set to failure of pull-ups or dips, or at the end of a sprint or anything. It's multifactorial, but heat is the biggest contributor to that. The energy reactions that fuel muscle contractions, they release heat during that, the biochemical reactions. So as that heat accumulates in a working muscle, your body has developed a protective mechanism so that the system doesn't become hyperthermic, and it'll actually shut down that working muscle before it becomes too hot. So anything we can do to mitigate that heat accumulation would mean you can delay fatigue, right? And work out a little bit longer, more reps per set, more sets per exercise, possibly more distance per set in a conditioning session, whether it's ground-based or in a modality-based conditioning in a weight room or a commercial gym setting. So to understand how big of an influence heat has on exercise exercise and performance, then you can begin to set up strategies to effectively address that accumulation of heat, and CoolMitt is one of those ways to do that. A user would not have to alter their workout routine significantly to get the benefit of this workout. Normally built into an existing workout is some type of opportunity to rest in between sets. Again, whether we're talking a strength workout in a commercial gym setting, or even a conditioning, an anaerobic or an aerobic conditioning workout, on the ground or a track or out on the road, or even on a modality in a commercial gym, that within those rest periods, those built-in rest periods, the unit is convenient enough where, assuming you set it up close by, you literally just have to go over and slide your hand into the mitt to get the benefit from it. So in a pre-planned workout with work relief ratios, or even for the CrossFitter or the high intensity interval workout, that within those between round breaks that you'll take in between a circuit, that you can just put your hand inside the mitt and still realize the benefit without upsetting the flow or the efficiency of the planned workout. To use the CoolMitt to improve overall cardiovascular fitness, both anaerobic and aerobic, there are many people these days that choose an interval approach to improving their overall fitness. And many people still do steady state workouts, either road work or even in a commercial gym setting on a bike or a treadmill to improve their fitness. But many are choosing to do intervals, right? And some type of repeat sprint activity with opportunities to break in between intense bouts of activity. So those breaks in between, let's just call it a stationary bike to use your example, those breaks in between provide an optimal opportunity to cool. Let's say you've built in a 1 minute or a 90-second recovery period in between a 2 minute or a 3 minute bike sprint. Well, sliding your hand into that CoolMitt, again, as we talked about, that will reduce the accumulation of heat within your musculature, within systemically. And when you reduce that accumulation of heat, you're now able to alter the biochemical reactions that fuel energy production, where again, the body's protective mechanism may shut down your working muscles sooner to protect your body from becoming hyperthermic. So reducing heat, mitigating heat gain will now enable those systems to kind of work out longer. You can delay fatigue. You can delay that moment where you don't want to push longer. And through that increased capacity, that the increased workout, longer reps or more distance per rep, or whatever metric you choose to measure your outcome measure for each single rep, that you'll be able to improve those. And over time, as you continue to use the mitt and improve those metrics, that will improve your overall fitness.